also known as Gorilla Glue Gorilla Glue Floor, Gorilla Glue, Gorilla Glue 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome back to the channel, Home Slices. Thanks for tuning in for another video. Today's video is going to be my thoughts on black market cannabis versus medical cannabis. What are the differences? So I've been a prescribed patient now for 6 months. I've tried a number of different strains from the medical market. So I thought I would give you my views compared to the 25 years that I've smoked black market cannabis and see how they stack up. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to say is that I have found medical cannabis to be a lot stronger than the black market cannabis that I've been picking up. Now, whether that's because the black market I've been picking up has been rubbish, or it's just a lower THC percentage, and obviously your typical grower won't be able to test their own strain, so they won't know how strong they are. Flipping that around to the medical side, you know when you order medical what THC percentage it's roughly going to be, CBD, you know the breakdown of terpenes. So in that sense, medical cannabis wins. When you go and pick up off Dodgy Dave on the street corner, you're not going to know how strong it is, what the breakdown of terpenes are. So, like I said, medical wins that race in my eyes. And I will say, with the strength side of it, I have been the closest to throwing a whitey in the last 6 months than I have been ever using black market cannabis. But don't panic, I am a big boy, I did survive, and no sick was ejected from my mouth, so we were all good. I was not laying down on the floor talking to God on the big white telephone. Now this one's going to be a bit of a taboo subject. I'm going to say prescription weed is generally grown pretty well. It's grown under strict conditions and regulations and has to go through quite a lot of testing before it's released onto the medical market. However, that being said, there have been a few recently, not naming any names, that have slipped through the net, and we've found some seeds. We've had mold in some of the plants, which obviously from a medical standpoint is not ideal. It's not what you want to. It's not what you want to be consuming. So, but largely after people have made comments and found the seeds and the mold, largely they're taken off of the formulary list for my clinic, at least. Anyway, there's been a lot taken off my Medica's list because of the said problem. So yeah, a lot of people won't even have a chance to try these because they've been taken off before a lot of people have tried them. Now that compared to Dodgy Dave picking up a box of Stardog off the elbows and not knowing where it's come from, what it's been grown with, if there's nutrients left in it to be flushed out, if it's going to make you cough a lot, if it's dry, if it's harsh, if it's, you know, Dodgy Dave off the street corner is not going to know that. Whereas with the medical stuff, we kind of know roughly that it's grown to a set level and there shouldn't be any nasties in there. Fingers crossed. Generally, as a grower for the black market, all you're going to want is money, so you don't care if the product is good or bad at the end of it. So yeah, that again, these are my views. Just putting it out there. Price wise, it's working out slightly cheaper on the medical market for me as opposed to black market. I was never one to smoke the cheaper sort of haze, dogs, that sort of stuff. It was always a top shelf flower, so I was looking at between 240 and 280 an ounce. So yeah, you're looking at roughly £500 for a couple of ounces there. As opposed to the medical market, my most expensive prescription for 50 grams, which is just under 2 ounces, has been £440. So yeah, slightly cheaper. But given the perks that come with the medical, I'm more than happy with paying that price. So yeah, we'll talk about those perks shortly. The minimum you can order from medical is 10 grams currently, although I have heard talks of them releasing 3.5s, but that's not going to be anytime soon. So yeah, the cheapest 10 gram pot you can get currently is £4.50 a gram. So for the 10 grams, that would be £45. going all the way up to the most expensive currently being £13 a gram. And that obviously is £130 for the 10 grams. That is way out of my price point, I'm not going to lie. £13, I've paid it once, but the flower I got was not great. It was the Thermos Atlantic glue, also known as Gorilla Glue 4. But yeah, that wasn't to me a £13 strain. That was more like a £6-7 strain, even though it was living soil grown. Sorry, it wasn't the one for £13. So that for me, never again. £10 a gram is my max as it stands. Granted, the £45 stuff is not going to be mind blowing, but when you weigh up the pros and cons, it's a no-brainer really, especially, well, for me at least. There's only one winner, medical. You can choose from a long list. You can get yourself an indica, you can get yourself a sativa, you can get yourself a hybrid, so that's daytime, nighttime sorted. Whereas with a black market dealer, generally, unless they've got a menu the size of your arm, you're not going to get a great deal of choice. It's going to be one or two different strains. You're not going to know if they're indica or sativa without you doing your own research, and that's just a ball ache really in my mind. Medical, you can go on a website, search a long list of flowers, see what's available at the moment, see what's available in your clinic, and have the choice of THC percentage, terpenes, strengths. For me, no brainer. In the time I've been prescribed, there's only been 2 strains that I've tried that I didn't like and that I would 100% not get again. Again, I'm not going to name any names at this stage because it makes no odds. I will do a tier list at some point of all the strains I've tried and like rate them first to last. But yeah, until that point, I am not going to slate any other growers. But yeah, there's been a couple that I didn't like. So those were just my thoughts on the black market cannabis versus medical. Obviously, with the medical side of things, you get the perks like being able to travel, go on holiday with it, the driving situations, being able to use when you're out and about in the streets. More recently, I've seen some paperwork which I've just downloaded and printed and will be having a good read through, where you can take your cannabis into places like Asda's and stuff like that. I mean, I've not tried that yet, but it's on my list of things to do. So yeah, medical wise, you get a lot more perks as opposed to the black market stuff. So black market, you couldn't buy a load of black market stuff and then take it with you on holiday. Well, you could, but you risk the chances of being nabbed, which is not a good idea. Medical wise, you can take it as long as you've got your prescription with you, it's in the original containers, which it should be anyway, and you've got a covering letter from your clinic, your gravy, it's all golden. As long as the country you're going to allows medical cannabis, you are golden. So yeah, medical cannabis, is it worth it? For me, in my opinion, 100% yes. The last 6 months have been one of the most stress-free, anxiety-free 6 months that I've had, just not having to run around and hide my medicine, and yeah, it's been a real game changer for me. So if you haven't yet, I do recommend looking into medical and seeing if you can jump on board. If you're a prescribed patient, what are your thoughts on medical cannabis? Has it weighed up for you against black market? How long were you on the black market before being prescribed medical? So yeah, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. So wrapping this one up here, guys. Don't think I've waffled too much, but I will let editing me let you know that. So yeah, until next time, peace out, Cub Scouts. Look after yourselves and each other, as my mate Jerry would say, and keep it real. Until next time. Anyway, there's a lot been taken off of my Medica's list. There's been a lot taken off of whereas with the medical